Hey guys, I'm Becky and I'm so excited to finally welcome you back to another video. So guys, let's get into the big question, where have I been? Honestly, here. I've just been trying to live my best life. There are two main reasons why I decided to go ahead and step away for a little bit. Number one, as you guys may remember, last March, I was promoted at work to adult librarian. And I love my job. For the most part, I kind of knew what I was doing, but it was still an adjustment and still a stressor with this new position. Looking back at my content for all of 2022, it's pretty obvious that I needed to take a break because my videos were like drastically slowing down, not making a whole lot of vlogs, things like that. And that was definitely attributed to my new position and the new stresses at work. On top of that, last year my husband also created his own company, and so we both were getting used to these new roles that we were in. We also had a little bit of like financial fluctuation, if you will, because it takes a lot upfront to start your own company and to kind of get the ball rolling of finally getting paid again and things like that. So that's definitely one reason of like I was overwhelmed with adulting. And the second reason was not so much I was falling out of love with reading, but I was getting overwhelmed and stressed out about my reading. As a content creator, you constantly go through these ups and downs of reading for fun and because you want to, which is the whole reason I created this channel, was just to share my opinions and have fun. And then the other side of it, which is, am I doing enough? Am I making enough? Am I reading enough? And constantly comparing yourself to others and getting into this bad spiral where you're like, I'm only reading to make content, and having that happening at the same time as us like getting used to these new job roles was very, very stressful. So it's like at work, I'm worrying, am I doing a good job and my job? And then also at home in my fun book life, am I reading enough and doing enough? So on top of that too, coming home kind of exhausted because I'm still not used to my new workload yet, and then needing to read and film and edit and get it done on time. And yeah, so I was just very, very overwhelmed. My husband thankfully convinced me to take a break, and I decided to just give myself the grace of having no goal to come back. I definitely knew that I was going to come back eventually. I just didn't know when. And that really helped a lot with just saying, I'll come back one day, maybe. Maybe I won't, who knows? But today's the day. I've decided to come back. Now, I do want to warn you, I am not back at full capacity, if you will. I'm not going to be making 1 to 3 videos a week like I used to be. I think that definitely attributed to the negative headspace when it comes to content creating. And I'm excited and I want to create content, but I'm still not yet done, I guess, with feeling like I'm reading enough and doing enough. So I'm still kind of working on that. And that means I have decided that yes, I'm coming back. I'm here. Hello. But it's going to be sort of a soft goal. So my soft, super flexible goal is to create 1 video a season, a quarter, every 3 months, however you kind of want to look at it. And again, it's a very soft one. So if in 3 months it's time for me to make another video, I am not in the headspace to do that or don't want to, then no big deal. Don't make one. If there's a time where I want to make more than 1 video in that quarter, then great, I can do that too. I'm just trying to take off as much stress and I guess like deadlines and hard set goals for this channel so that it continues to stay fun and upbeat. But I am very excited to come back because I do miss you guys. I loved interacting with you guys and seeing your comments and stuff like that. So I am very curious to know what kind of video you guys want to see next. Do you want to see a vlog? Do you want to see a sit down video? I know that at some point I probably want to do the terrifying trend of reading 1-star reviews for your favorite books. And I definitely want to bring back my reading vlogs for the book bite-a-thon and things like that. So yeah, just let me know what you want to see next. Now, to make sure that this video wasn't so I don't know, like borderline depressing, but also exciting, I guess, because I'm back. I did want to talk about what I have read since I've been gone. Now, I'm not going to talk about every single book that I have read since I've taken a break, but I want to talk about the ones that I really, really enjoyed that I highly recommend everybody read, and I hope that you guys do. So first, I want to kind of update you guys on some series that I had started when I was still making videos and where I'm at now with those. So the first one is Throne of Glass. If you guys remember, I did start and finish this series back in 2021. So I did finish this book in December of 2021. I absolutely love the series. It's amazing. I definitely have plans on rereading this in the future. But if you guys also remember, I was making spoiler-filled reading vlogs for these books. And the last one that was posted was for book 4. I did technically film a reading vlog for books 5 and 6 because I did read those both at the same time. That is highly recommended by the fandom, and I super recommend to read it that way because 5 and 6 take place at the exact same time, but they are following totally different characters and different things are happening, but it's in the same timeline. So it's a much more enjoyable experience if you read them at the same time and know like what chapters to kind of flip-flop between the two. Otherwise, it feels a little bit redundant if you read all of 5 and then all of 6. So when it was coming out, it made total sense. But now that they are out and you can binge them, it's a little cumbersome. And then I did obviously make a video for this one too, looking to see if I did post the reading vlog for this book. I realized that I didn't, and I didn't do 5 and 6. And I remember like, oh yeah, I was starting to get pretty burnt out and I was slowly releasing them in 2022. And I didn't release these vlogs. Unfortunately, I'm here to tell you that those vlogs are never going to come, and it's okay. It's all right. Part of my trying to heal and get into a better headspace with this vlog and my reading was to clear the slate. If I continued to have a backlog of videos that I needed to still film and still edit and still put up, because these vlogs were never even edited, I was going to constantly feel like I was behind and not doing enough and not making the videos that I wanted to in the moment. So I had to just delete them. I had to just get rid of them. So I'm sorry, they're never gonna come. They existed, they're in my mind, but they're not ever gonna be on here. And on one hand, I apologize, but on the other hand, it just needed to be done. So we're starting with a blank slate moving forward. I have no backlog. I think I deleted all of the like notes and things that I had of like videos that I wanted to still create and stuff like that. We're just starting fresh. It's a whole fresh slate. But I did actually read these in case you forgot and absolutely love them. So if you haven't read Throne of Glass, please read it. And if you do want the guide for how to read books 5 and 6, let me know and I can reply to you with the link. The next series to update you on is another Sarah J. Maas book, which is A Court of Thorns and Roses. This series I have read, vlogged, you guys have all seen it. However, this year I got into the mood of wanting to reread the series, and holy crap, am I so happy that I made that decision. It was the best decision, honestly. So in February, I got the urge and I picked up A Court of Thorns and Roses. I'm reading them on my Kindle. I am preferring ebook these days. I love an ebook. I don't want to physically read. I don't really want to listen to audiobooks. I just want to read on my Kindle all day long. I'm reading them that way so that way I can annotate them, and then I'm planning on eventually transcribing all of my notes into my physical copies. But in February, I started this one. It's been a long time since I reread book 1, and it was absolutely excellent because there was a lot of stuff that I didn't have very fresh in my memory, so it didn't feel so much like a reread. As you guys may remember, I do not like to do rereads unless I'm really in the mood for it and it's my favorite books. But that was great. And then in March, I read A Court of Mist and Fury. And I was super excited about it because it was my favorite book in the series until A Court of Silver Flames. But it kind of dragged a little bit just because of the plot. Like, I was like, I'm not here for the plot. I'm here for the good time vibes, the found family, the PTSD. So it was a little bit less fun than reading this one, but I still am planning on reading the other ones. I'm hoping that next month in May that I will read A Court of Wings and Ruin, and possibly also Frost and Starlight. But I kind of thought, just because with Mist and Fury I didn't have like the greatest of time, of skipping them and just going to Silver Flames, because that's the one I really want to reread after this one. But to really get Nesta's story fully, I need to read book 3 and book 3.5, because that gives you like the whole picture of Nesta and everything she's been through, and why Silver Flames just means so freaking much. So I'm gonna do it. The next series to update you on is Zodiac Academy. Now, I started this in 2022. I read book 1 last February with you guys, and I think I gave it 3 stars. This is a dark fantasy bully romance. And I mean bully, okay? I don't mean like some hair pulling, some like teasing. I'm talking like attempted murder, okay? It's very intense. And at the end of this book, I really didn't know how they were going to convince me to fall in love with one or any of these guys. So I was a little skeptical, but my best friend Sarah Rowe, her mom, has read these and loved them. So I was like, Sherry's got to know what she's talking about. Okay, so I kept going. I read book 2 with you guys, I think during the summer, and I gave that one 4 stars. I was like, okay, I will continue on to book 3. So since we last spoke, I have now finished book 6 of the main series. This is another series that I found a guide for reading. So I have read up to book 6 in the main series and all of the novellas. I am about to start book 1 as told by the boys. I thought this was like maybe 200-300 pages of their point of view. It's the full length of this one from their point of view. So I put it off for a second, but I'm hoping to read that in May. And then I need to read the prequel series, Dark Fae. I don't know if that's a series name, but it's book 1's name. I need to read all of those in their entirety, books 1 through 6, books 1 through 5, whatever it is. And then continue on with this until I read the spin-off series that has now been done. On top of that, I also want to read everything that Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti have written, because I'm hooked. I am obsessed. Books 3 through 6 have gotten 5 stars. I'm in it. I'm here for it. I love it. Okay? I'm just here. Next, I want to talk about Ice Planet Barbarians. As you guys know, I am absolutely obsessed with this series. It is fantastic, but I want to just update you of like, where am I at so far with the series? So I have read up to book 18, or I'm about to start book 18, I think, of the main Ice Planet Barbarians series. And I think I'm about to start book 6, or maybe I finished book 6 in the like companion series, because it takes place kind of at the same time, Ice Home. So I'm pretty sure that I'm about to start book 7 of that. So I'm very close to being done. The main series has 20 books in it, and my goal for 2023 is to read all of Ice Planet Barbarians. Ice Home, I think, is up to 16 now, and I don't know if it ends there or if there is plans to continue on. I haven't really looked into it because I kind of want to find out when I get to book 16. But something that is so exciting is that I am currently convincing all of my coworkers to, well, not all of them. Some of them really shouldn't read this book, but a few of them I have convinced to read this. So my best friend Sarah Rowe, she has been convinced to read it. She has read book 1 and she thought it was all right. It's not exactly her thing, but she has plans to continue on. Don't forget, but she does have plans. My other coworker, I convinced her, she is hooked. She is like almost caught up to me because she is just flying through these books. And then I have one coworker who just started book 1 and I need to talk to her about it. I meant to yesterday when we worked together, but it was so busy that it just never happened. And another coworker, he is also convinced to read it. He hasn't yet, but he has plans to start it soon. And he's like pretty excited because of how much I love this and how much I've explained. Like, honestly, they're not, I guess you would say, like, quality books. This book isn't going to win any awards unless it's for romance and a good time. It's not going to win, like the Pulitzer or something. Okay? And that's okay. That's all right. We're not here for that. So he's pretty excited about starting it. And then I think I have pretty much convinced another coworker to possibly start it, but I think she's going to be like the last one of them to start it. And I really don't know if she's even going to like it, but I told her even if you don't like it, it's still a good time. So those are all the ones that I started when I was still making content with you guys. Those are definitely like some of my top series. I absolutely love them. I highly recommend them. But okay, let's talk about the other books that I have read completely offline, if you will. So the first one is Court of Dragons by Frost K. I always want to say K Frost, but it's Frost K. This is a book that was pretty popular on Kindle Unlimited and then has started to garner some more interest. So I need to double check if a publisher has picked these up and is publishing them, because I will totally buy them for the library. But this is the Bookish Box edition that they came out with. It is very, very nice. So this book is about a girl named Ren, who is the princess of the Dragon Court and the Elf Kingdom, I believe is what it's kind of called. I don't think it's a court, I think it's a kingdom. They forge an attack the day before Ren is to get married to her best friend and completely murder her entire court, basically, and then kidnap her. And the Elf King gives her the option to either die or marry his son, and she decides, I'll marry your son so that way I can seek my revenge against you guys. The only thing is, maybe the prince isn't so bad, and maybe he wants to help you in this revenge. Book 1 definitely ends on a cliffhanger. Book 2 is now out, and I need to read it desperately. But this is so, so good. It's definitely for fans of like the Fae and things like that. They don't turn into dragons in the Dragon Court, but they're like dragon riders. So she has a dragon. It's awesome. It's very kind of like soft Manon vibes, if you will. The next one is the Mindfuck series by St. Abbey. I do want to kind of give a disclaimer that St. Abbey is a pen name. It is like one of 2 or 3 that the author has, and under each pen name she writes different things. So under St. Abbey she would write very like dark, criminal-esque romance, or at least that was the plan. But unfortunately this author did pass away in either 2020 or 2021 due to a very tragic car accident. So I just kind of want to put that out there. So even though the cover kind of looks like this is another BDSM Twilight ripoff, it's not. It has absolutely nothing to do with Twilight. I really can't even think of any way to even try to correlate to them, but the cover does make sense in the context of the book, or the series rather, because this is a bind up of all 5. I believe there's 5 books total. They're all very, very short. They're all under, I'm pretty sure all of them are under, I know for sure they're all under 400 pages. Maybe. I could be wrong, but they're all pretty quick, and through reading it, the cover makes total sense to you. So this book is about Lana, and when she was a teenager, something super awful happened to her and her brother, and she is now seeking her revenge against the men who hurt her by murdering them. She is a serial killer. And then we also have Logan, who is the FBI agent tasked with trying to find the serial killer, which he, by the way, thinks is a man. And I don't remember exactly, but somehow him and Lana meet, they fall in love, and they're like trying their best to have a relationship without, Logan, he's never had a successful relationship because of how demanding his job is. Lana is trying to make sure that he doesn't find out that she's the serial killer before she kills all of her victims. It's a very interesting dynamic. If you are a fan of Criminal Minds, you will really, really like this. There is romance, but it's not the main point. It's all the sex scenes are very like quick. They're over within like a paragraph. So it's not the main focus. The main focus is kind of how their relationship evolves and slowly learning what happened to Lana when she was a teenager. On top of that, Lana is not her real name, and the girl that she used to be, according to all records, is dead. So she's basically a ghost murdering people, and it's fantastic. Picked this book up because in October of last year, I joined a dark romance book club. I have been reading some wild things with this book club. This book the series is one of them. This is one of the not so many that I have actually loved. Some of the other things I've read have been like, what is this? This is not for me. So if you're interested in joining the book club, I can definitely give you the details. It is very open and welcoming, and is a very cool book club if you are already into into dark romance, or if you are someone like me who is very new and just kind of want to check out more things and see what's what. It's a ride. It's a time. Next up is Dirty Lying Fairies by Sabrina Blackberry. This was originally published on Wattpad, and then Wattpad has now become a publishing company where they will like make physical books. So this is a book that I picked up for my library now that I'm in charge of the adult content. And I read it as soon as we got it, and it is so good. If you are someone who is into like humans going to the fairy realm or becoming fae, this is for you. So if you're into like Akatar or Cruel Prince or anything like that, anything by Elise Kova, I think you'll really enjoy this. So this book is about, I think it's like once a year, fairies come to fairies are kind of like always in the human realm. There isn't really like a fairy realm and a human realm. They're all in the same realm, at least for now. But once a year, the fairies choose humans to turn into fae. Unfortunately for our main character, she is mistaken as the chosen human and gets turned, even though it's probably not the best idea. But it like turns out it was a great thing. I don't know. I don't want to like say too much because like there isn't a whole lot that honestly happens in this book. A lot of it is kind of like getting to know our characters, learning about the fae, learning about these new abilities and things like that. But it is really, really good. I enjoyed it a lot. My friend Ro judged me pretty harshly when she was like, we bought a Wattpad book. I was like, they're amazing. So check it out. Next is A Promise of Fire by Amanda Bouchette. This is part, it was originally part of a trilogy. I don't know if that was like where it was going to go this whole time, but it was pretty popular when the trilogy first came out. Either last year or the year before book 4 came out, so it started getting attention again. And I decided to go ahead and check it out because a lot of people were like, it's amazing. The point, I guess, of this book is that we have our main character who has this very rare magical ability. Her species, if you will, was pretty much killed out because of what they can do. And she's like one of the last ones, and she is in hiding. She has changed her name. She has joined a traveling circus, if you will. I think it's a circus or a carnival. And she is using an ability that is like adjacent to what she can do, that is pretty common. And she's kind of just like living life under the radar until she meets the warlord who is tasked with trying to find her. And he does, and he desperately needs her help in the kingdom, and it turns out he might also desperately need her as his queen. So I was expecting like traditional kind of like fantasy romance where there's a lot of plot, but we have some romance happening in between. This book is extremely heavy on the romance. Like hardly any plot actually happens, which if you're me, that's fantastic. I can't read a book, honestly, that doesn't have some sort of romance in it. It's just boring to me. So to pick up a book thinking, okay, I'm going to get some cool romance in here and it be majority was fantastic. So I do definitely have plans to continue on, and I do highly recommend it. But just know, if you're not that big into romance, you're probably not going to like this at all. And the last book that I want to talk about is probably like my most recent 5-star other than the Akatar books I've been reading, and that is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. This book, I'm sure you've heard about it. A lot of people have been talking about it. It's been getting a lot of attention, as it should. So this is a sports romance. We are following one character who is a figure skater, and a very, very good figure skater, and another one who is a hockey team captain. They go to college together, and this college has apparently 2 ice rinks, because that's something, I guess, that happens. I've never heard of it, but sure. They have 2 ice rinks, and due to some retaliation by another hockey team, the ice rink that our main character, I believe her name is Anastasia, her rink that she primarily uses for her practicing gets destroyed. I believe it's flooded or just like completely de-iced or something. Something happens where it's not going to be usable for months, and she has a very big competition coming up. So her and the hockey captain have to work together to share a rink and come up with like a plan. And it's like not working very well, mostly because Anna is very, very stubborn. She is the grumpy and he is the sunshine, which I really enjoyed. This is definitely an enemies to lovers. There is kind of like a found family in terms of like the team members and stuff like that. And it's so great. I will warn you that there is like the typical miscommunication trope, but it all kind of works out and it's done in a way that I still really liked. I usually really hate that trope, but it is in a lot of romance. I wish we would find a new trope, but we're stuck with it for now. And I will also warn you that Anna's partner in figure skating is abusive. He's an abusive partner. And so there is trigger warnings for that, of having somebody who is not a romantic partner, but who is very controlling and abusive. So it does have a little bit of a darker side, and Anna kind of dealing with her own mental health and things like that. But overall, it's so freaking good. So guys, those are all the books that I have read and absolutely loved and highly recommend everybody reads since I have been gone. I definitely want to know if I've convinced any of you to read these, so please let me know which ones you are planning on reading, or if you have any recommendations based on these. I am all for it. Please tell me. But alright guys, that is everything that I have for you. Don't forget to let me know what video you want to see next, and don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, to please give it a thumbs up. Keep reading, stay safe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye! People say be